Hello. Happy February of 2025. We are just going to dive right in like we usually do. And February is a shorter month than usual. So we're really just going to like cut to the chase. And I think that's what we appreciate about Aquariuses and Aquarius season, especially this season, because it's going to be compact and it's going to move us along because that's what happens with the world, right? We have to keep moving. So there are a lot of ways to bring movement into our lives if we're feeling any sort of like stuckness or any density, or if you're just feeling scared and you're like, oh my gosh, like what's gonna happen? What's happening? I'm confused. I feel uncomfortable. I'm concerned. I'm worried. I'm fearful, right? Like I don't know. Like I know this isn't good that that this isn't a smooth. It's not that it's not good. Take two steps back. It's not that it's not good because we can get into this the best that we can, but like to I personally am also trying to reprogram a lot of what I do within my own conversations within myself of like good, bad, right? It's just it is, right? This Aquarius season, it is what it is. And something, I don't know, something really called me to go back to the September forecast. And it's funny because that's one of the ones that has like some of my least amount of views. And I'm like, oh, why does the universe keep pointing me there? And I'm like, oh, it was like my history lesson. It was very much about the orbits and last time when were they in these places. And to be quite honest, I definitely didn't think that our president was going to be a president. So I had a optimism and a nonchalantness about that month that I'm grateful for because there was no fear or there was it was really really far away of like, well, let's hope like whatever happens is going to be, whatever. So there was a lightness about that reading. And now looking back, I'm watching it and I'm like, "Oh, this is actually very interesting because there is not a doubt that these planets were in the same place during that time." So, this is me tapping you on the shoulder and saying, "Did you watch the September one? I know it's not September, but these episodes are actually here to document time and really what's happening, right? Because there's going to be okay, Aquarius being real. It's gonna get freaky. It's gonna be like AI is gonna look just like us, and people are gonna need to know that you're a real person, like online, right? Because our brains, our minds, our impressions, we're starting to like be up here so often that we're just reading from this place all the time, all the time, all the time, all the time, and it's tiring. Okay, and also mindfulness, like you're also supposed to be like, okay, let me just like be here and be present, right? And usually we just feel a lot of energy. Either some people can't sit still because they got to move the energy throughout their body. Some people who are like, oh, doing this makes like it just feels really hard to focus in this one place for, whatever. Everyone has their uncomfortability, right? So what I'm feeling is we went through actually quite a pressure cooker in August, kind of without realizing it was really preparing us for the new. So Capricorn and Pluto is no more, right? Sayonara. The orbit has ended. We are officially in Pluto in Aquarius world. And if we look at the zodiac, right? Aquarius is like one of the last signs of all the information who's going to be like, okay, Capricorn. So after this whole year, right? We get to this Capricorn season. And listen, yes, there might be another zodiac like within the constellation and all this stuff. I'm speaking from a point of view of the planets who is within us. Like it's also a representation of how we're supposed to like become self-aware, right? There was a reason why all the artists looked in the sky and were like, wow, look at those stars and look at those planets. when they could finally really see them because they were just probably sensing into just so much. Like until they had the telescope, y'all, like they just like had beings come from the sky, or they just had visions, or they just knew because like they were communicating directly with the sky because that was their companion at night because there was no electricity. You know what I mean? I don't know. I wasn't there. Or at least if I was, I just don't have any past life memories about it right now because I'm in this life. And that's actually another thing that I wanted to quickly just like dabble in because I feel like there's more of these like spiritual topics happening and which is actually really exciting, right? I'm like, ooh, it's starting to become more like mainstream and, it's not so weird to talk about witches and it's not so crazy to like, mention a spirit guide, whatever, whatever. But and also, like where is the ground to all of this, right? So I do my very best to learn from teachers, mentors, shamans all over the world, medicine, men and women, all over the world, right? Because I know what I know. And my life lessons and how I've moved through them has wisdom in there that I'm teaching you or like I'm telling you or sharing with you of like, hey, like I know this thing. You 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 want to listen to the story? Like, are you down? So the Aquarius is kind of that representation because it's a water bearer. So they're not a water sign, but they do carry a lot of information. Aquarians are like, "Deet, deet, 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 deet," little, they say they're a little like out of this world, right? They're innovative. They're thinking of like so many things, right? And like they're using the visionary up here to bring it down here on this planet. So Aquariuses are actually, there's a lot of presence in Aquarius energy. And there's also that um, uh, Uranus energy that is very eccentric and very out there, right? So can too out there, you know what I mean? So we're kind of coming head to head with like both of those Aquarian ideas, like what's too out there, what's so out there, like Mars, right? So out there. Why don't we just like chill at this planet, take care of this planet, get some things going in the way that like we all good, it's a win-win. Totally. Like if Mars is in our future and if it's supposed to like you know what I mean? But like we should probably take care of ourselves first. You know what I mean? Let's not give up on this planet just yet, you know? Um, and I think this Aquarius kind of energy can sometimes bring us so out there. So, this Aquarius season, it's going to be short. It's going to be sweet, actually. There's going to be a lot of love. So, I'm going to look at my notes over here. Um, so the first like week of basically up until the 12th, right? Because the 12th is the full moon in Leo. But we're gonna start. It's gonna be fiery. It's gonna be warm, and that like fiery kind of like um energy, right? Because we have Venus going from Pisces into Aries. So we have that fully like watery, maybe a bit emotional Venus energy, maybe a little dramatic, maybe a little like oh, you just like sense into a lot of psychic energy, when Venus is in Pisces for sure. And then it's going to move into Aries. It's going to go zoop, right? Because Aries is fast, let's go, right? Also, I'm going to do it my way. So watch out for some stubbornness. Um and also it's new beginnings, right? It's the brand new. It's brand new. Aries is brand new. So it's the like very first start. So when I was talking about like Capricorn, we got Capricorn saying, okay, I got the plan. Here's the plan. This is what's going on. I'm going to give the plan to Aquarius. And Aquarius is going to like catch the plan or like put all this plan into this beautiful vase because the water bearer is like the one who like is of the information or like of the wisdom, kind of like the middleman, right? within both worlds, or like kind of like within like that innovation, or just like the future to the present, like the here and the now, and all the stuff. It can get a little psychedelic, right? So all that information, and then it goes, okay, I'm an air sign, so I'm also comprehending and processing and intellectualizing and talking and all the things, higher energy up here, to Pisces, right? Because Pisces is it. That's it. The end. Pisces is the end of the zodiac, right? So it's like, okay, so Capricorn told me the plan. Say I'm playing the role of Aquarius right now. Okay, there's the plan. Uh-huh, 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 uh-huh. Okay, great, great, great. Now it's like the game of telephone. Now there's a hearing the plan, understanding, comprehending the plan, and then having to communicate, right? Having to translate that information to Pisces, which is a water sign, which also Pisces like absorb. Like Pisces tend to be like more of an absorption type of energy. So what message are you absorbing? You know what I mean? Like what narrative are you following? Are you falling for? Like is this something you believe in, all of you? Like if it's like money down 100%, I know this to be true, right? So that's Venus entering Aries on February 3rd. And now let's not forget, we just did the Chinese New Year celebration as well. So we are now in the wood snake era. Okay. New beginnings. We got that Venus enters Aries and like kind of ready to burn it all down at the same time of like, if it is not true and if it is not um just, there's going to be more of a destruction aspect that we want to we want to carefully walk through that, because once you burn something down, it's gone. It's ash. It's done. It's dead, right? So that's why with Aries, we always take a step back and we say, okay, my Mars is in Aries. I've had to really talk a lot with my Aries energy and being like, okay, let's take a step back. Let's think this through, because Jupiter goes direct in Gemini the next day. So Jupiter has been retrograde in Gemini, and technically it feels really far away from home because Gemini's at home with Mercury, and Mercury is like so close to the sun. So it's probably felt a little cold, like, in a way, like people have felt maybe a little like, oh man, it's frigid out here, especially Geminis, or just like, dang, like, all right, energies be changing. I'm aware of like what's going on, and like, how are we going to talk about this? Or like, how are we going to process all this information that we're all getting all the time? Are we ever going to process it? Oh, are we supposed to be like amongst it? Ooh, are we supposed to translate it? Ooh, are we supposed to make something out of it? Oh, and we're not really supposed to absorb it all and figure it all out. Oh, we're supposed to make something out of it. Boom. Jupiter goes direct in Gemini, the light switch. That's what I put on for February 4th. So make healthy choices. Be good to yourself, because there is some magic right there. 12th, full moon in Leo. And boom, it's that like just the shine brightly, the individualization, right? Because the Leos care. They care and they shine, and they know there's enough sunlight for everyone, right? So like we can all be here. We can all be here, but also I know when it's my time to soak up the spotlight, right? Of like life force energy, right? Of like literally the sun, right? So then that's all like fire, air. So we got like ideas, innovations, movement, a lot of movement. And then we go kind of like deep into the water. Okay. I am warning you now. If you are a crybaby, you just get it all out. You just get it all out and enjoy it and let it fly through. If you are not a crybaby, guess what? You might be crying this month. And It's a release. I feel like it's something it's going to affect everyone. I don't know what that means, but I just feel like there's a collective Aquarius emotional release that is just like naturally happening and going to happen because it's a part of the evolution process, right? I think our hearts are breaking open, right? Our compassion is is like forcing us to be present with it. I don't care how dark and evil you are. But right now, your heart is splitting open because being a part of this human experience is also like having balance, right? So I just feel like this like boom, like there's something that's going to like the light switch. It's going to just switch on. People are going to feel their heart centers and they're going to be, it's just like love is in the air. That was Mercury enters Pisces literally on Valentine's Day. Okay. I'm like, universe, you be so sweet. You be so sweet to us because, we have been just like really like toughening it out the past few years. Not even like the past few like months or like the past, or just the past month, especially for a lot of people in California. Like this past month has felt like a year. Like already you're like, oh my God. But really, the year really ended when the new year in the Chinese, well, the Chinese New Year, that was really the end of the year. So now we really are in the beginning. So many cycles. Like there's so many new, right? So when you feel the new like shift, right? That like push, that feels good. Not like a push that's like pushing you off a cliff, which by the way, if you really are trying to, make your life so padded around you that you want special treatment, that you don't want life to like push you around. I just watched a video and this woman, I was like, you're so right. Like we can't be padding our rooms. Like we don't like life isn't allowed to jostle us around. That's kind of why we're here. Like if we move through the flows of change and experience, we will be okay, right? Because when we don't face our fears or emotions, right? Our tears, our pain, it goes somewhere deep inside of us that we smush and we think it's gone because we never had to really deal with it. We never really had to face it. And then you wake up one day, 20, 30, 40 years down the line, and it just bloop, like something awakens it of like, oh yeah, that thing. I still feel the same about that, you know? It could be 5 years. It doesn't have to be like decades, right? But there's something that we all have to take care of right now within ourselves. What is so old that you gotta let it go. You know what I mean? Like it is not of this world. Like we are creating such a different world than even before the pandemic, like the world and where we were going. And then a pandemic hit, and then we're like, what? And then TikTok like took over, and then you're like, what? And then we're like, okay, wait, who's president again? Wait, what? Okay, what? We don't want to get stuck in all of the what? We go, all right, take care of yourself. Be present, be aware, right? Take care of your emotions now. That's how you stay clear. That is actually how warriors move through things. Their hearts are splitting open while they're also out there helping people and fighting for people and sticking up for people. So now is not the time to hoard anything, like hoarding your love, right? Or like not sharing your gifts. Something that you're like that could really like that does no that doesn't do anything, right? Share your love. Share your ideas. Reconnect. Be in the love. So whether you love or not, you gon' feel it. You gon' feel it. You're gonna feel it. Like it's like I'm like, oh, it's gonna be like the song, It's a Raining Men. Mm. I'm like, oh my God, it's gonna feel like life force energy was just like, pew, you know? So love is in the air. Mercury entering Pisces. Then boom, the 18th, we got the sun entering Pisces. Okay. It is the Aquarius handoff. It's like, okay, Pisces, I made sure like I wanted this to be really good for you. So I like reconfigured a few things because Aquarius is a fixed sign. So it really is an anchor. I think a lot of times when we feel that in an air sign or in like a structure that we can rely on, it's kind of more up here, right? So you're like, oh, like this person is in their sanity. This person is clear, you know? And then when you're like, wow, this person is not, you need to know the difference, okay? Because it is something you have to maintain. You have to maintain your clarity. You have to maintain your peace. It is a practice. It is not just like, got it, boom, I'm going to always have it. No, no, no. No, no, no. This is now a part of your practice, a part of who you are in your life. Now, peace is a part of it, right? So, Aquarius had like a really nice handoff to Pisces. I was like, here you go, Pisces. I got them all ready for you. Because, especially because of that, Mercury entering Pisces, there's just something around that Valentine's Day. It just feels like a lot of love, like and let yourself be in the love. You know what I mean? So it's like get in the water. Like we're all gonna be getting in the water. You know what I mean? Like it's Pisces. It's gonna be Pisces season, which means it's the end of the zodiac year. So then we're starting a new year, spring, right? New. So then, like agriculturally speaking, and like the weather speaking, we're still in winter. Like this is definitely still like the end, right? We're not like starting a new year in the middle of you know what I mean? So we get to Aries and it's like actually spring, right? So we gonna be in our feelings, baby, and that's okay. So that sun enters Pisces on the 18th, and then the 23rd, I started this because I was like, again, make healthy choices. Mars goes direct in Cancer, and it just feels like some sort of, I called it like a heart center setup. And I think what I mean by this is like if we're in our feelings and we really like let ourselves be in our feelings, that does not mean we abandon our boundaries. There's a time and place for grief, for um, that emotional release, right? And there are times where it's like, this is not the right time to maybe just go there for your own indulgence, like for your own selfish desire or want to play something out and generate energy from someone else. Like, not the time, right? So, that Mars going direct in Cancer, heart center setup, right? So make yourself cozy, have all the things that you need, and sense into yourself every day. Is this a good day for me to, you know, be more vulnerable with people? Or is this a day that I'm gonna just like, this is private. I'm gonna keep this to myself. Yes. Like, sometimes interference is not what we need, right? Sometimes our feelings are private, and sometimes that's okay. Like everybody works differently. But I feel like there's going to be an introspective, like people are going to kind of have this like realization about themselves deeply, like this Pisces season. And then boom, new moon in Pisces on the 27th. And it's like looking in the mirror. I literally just said, looking in the mirror. We're going to see ourselves. And yeah, you're just going to like see, feel like this is who you are, like a reflection, right? And I want to give us a little heads up. Okay, so maybe I was giving some like more Pisces energy to this particular kind of like vibe right now, and like really being like, allow, like, trust the message from Aquarius, trust that into Pisces season, right? So that allows for the release to happen just like smoothly. You know what I mean? And because heads up, heads up, in Pisces season, so in March, right? I gave myself a little like heads up. That Venus that is in Aries starting on February 3rd goes retrograde in March. Okay. That's why I'm saying make healthy choices. Also, if you be feeling the love and just know, just think it through. You know what I'm saying? Is that person truly right for you? Is that job truly right for you? Is that love? You know what I'm saying? Because Venus goes retrograde in Aries in March. So make healthy choices. As well as Mercury goes into Aries. So we got Venus retrograde Aries, Mercury Aries approaching Aries season. So is so it's like it's fire and water. It's a dance. You know what I mean? And it's a dance of being with both the this is a day I feel really clear. This is a day I feel very like intellectual, or a day I feel like there's a lot of innovation happening. Aquarius, like here's all the information. What do we do? Oh, I know what to do with the information, like get it out of your head. You know what I mean? Clear, clear, clear. Ugh, pamper, pamper, nurture, nurture, love, 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 love. And then allow the tears. Or like as this is happening, obviously. Like there's no right way to do this. But just know there's going to be a depth that will just kind of like happen because that's like literally in the planets or in the air. Things are just going to start moving us, and just trust it. When there's a day of like, oh my God, the birds are chirping and it just feels like a great day, feel into that fully, right? Feel into the great days fully. Like talk to the sky, to the birds singing, like be that, right? Totally in. Go totally in. So then when there are days where it feels a little cloudy or it feels a little sad or like something has come up or whatever, you know, that doesn't feel like such a drop in your atmosphere because you have practiced and been present with the uplifting energy that there is always light. There's always light, right? We cannot kill our hope. Do not kill your hope, okay? Do not give up. Be here and go, I know what to do. I be in my Aquarius vibe. I set things up. Like I give myself an amazing setup, right? I set myself up for success because I'm thinking ahead and I'm making healthy choices because I care about my future. As simple as that, right? And as I am co collaborating with the universe and with what is happening in life, right? I believe that there will be opportunities and abundance and community and music and art and birds chirping and food and what else is just like so good. Yeah, like just like the feeling of a family and nature and parties. Maybe you're a big party person. Like when do you just feel like, oh, this is so nice, like getting all dressed up. Maybe you go somewhere, you got all dressed up. Yes, like, oh, it's starting to feel like the old days. You know what I mean? Feel into it fully, right? Allow that. I don't want to call it a time warp because that feels more like crazy than like play into the energy at hand, right? If there is a day that you want to like slick your hair back and like do like, pin curls or something and black eyeliner and like bright red lips and just see what it looks like, do it. Like this is the time to experiment, right? But just remember when we be talking about love, that Venus goes retrograde in Aries in March. So whatever happens in February, Remember that happens. And also, Mercury goes into Aries as well. Okay. So, and that's going to cut through the noise. I just wrote cut through the noise, spring season, sun bursts through. Like it's just gonna, it's gonna, there's gonna be the days of like, oh my God. And then it's be like, oh my God, burr, burr, it's cold, it's still winter. And then it's gonna be like, just like this opening of some sort. And because I vibe with my Aquarius more now that I understand the conversation of being present and being here and actually being very close, but also feeling very far away, either from people or like, like just the the irony of what like life and human experience can really feel like. So sometimes we are totally present here, and sometimes we're kind of disassociated or we are somewhere else and we're living a time loop in our minds. We're going through a time that's not even real and we're just imagining. We're watching something on TV and then it's kind of giving us a cool idea. So we just like go with it and we go somewhere else. We go traveling. There's going to be a lot of leaving that could potentially be happening in Aquarius because that's also like what kind of happens. Um, and, you know, know your own system, but, just keep in mind how balanced is that? Are you here as often as you should be? I know that's such a weird thing to say, but I don't know. Aquarius wanted me to say that. So yeah, it's a short month. I know this is like a short forecast, but I'm like, that's really it. That's really the message. So, know that there's a new beginning happening in February. It's just gonna feel like more of new beginning, Aries. We have a new just new. Like it just feels different. And sometimes when we've been waiting for that, oh, it just feels so good to really feel into those good days, right? And set yourself up for success on the days that feel uncomfortable and more emotional. Know that we're going into like a watery Pisces season. So there might be a lot of information that's going to come through that Aquarius season is processing with you and helping you ground it, right? And having it move. So then when there's like more water coming through, it's not feeling, you don't reject it. You know what I'm saying? You invite your healing energy and you invite love into your life basically. Um because that Mars directing Cancer, that heart center setup, like set yourself up for success, right? And just because you in your heart and you're in your vulnerabilities or you're in your like your love and all the stuff, that still means that you've got the strongest boundaries, right? You be fully into your love, all the stuff, but you also have boundaries, right? So we're not forgetting those at all. Those are non-negotiable and they come with us all the time. So there's a lot of that. So especially if you're leaving your body a lot, protect your energy. Just really be super Aquarius this season about energy and be like, I'm gonna do my, visualization every day, for the next 30 days. And, I'm gonna do that and see what happens, right? So do something to help move through. I mean, it's going to move through us, right? Whether we have this conversation or not, it's going to happen, right? Because I'm not in charge of the planets. Believe it or not, I am not in charge of any of this. All I am doing is going, okay, where's everything going to be? Okay, what have I learned about the zodiac signs? I do my very best to not be biased. I do my very best to also understand where everyone sees each zodiac sign to be, like what's the personality traits, because everybody's got it wrong about Sagittarius. Christian and I talk about all the time. So sometimes I'm like, yeah, totally. And sometimes I'm like, hmm. So same with Virgo. It's like, well, if it's the start of the harvesting season, like you have to be organized, you have to do it quickly. You like there has to be a process in order to like get all those crops up and like save them. There's a reason why there's specific energies during specific zodiacs and like of course, like we all have our own things or whatever, but there's something that's happening right now that I feel like there's more of an opening. happening. So people are more open to this conversation. So go there this Aquarius season and find out what happens. Okay. While you make healthy choices and you don't forget yourself, you keep protecting yourself. You got that light switch that flicks on, you shine brightly. Love is in the air. We love, love, love. Aquarius had that great handoff. We're in the water. The water is great. Then Mars goes direct in Cancer because we've been preparing for this and we've like talked it through the planets. They're like, listen, like there's this energy that's just going to come through and just like trust that it is love and it is healing. Um, but don't let all your guard down. Ask like, what are you crying about, right? Is it something that like is old and you're like, oh, great, I have the loop. There it is. There's the story. Pluck it out, you know? Or is it something that is currently happening and you have to like move through it. See what is now and what is old. Pluck out the old, okay? With love, of course. There's nothing wrong with the past at all. Well, there's I'm not going to get into that. Okay. But you know what I mean, hopefully. But this is like really it. Yeah. So I'm going to go. I'm going to see you in March. And yeah, I have no idea what to expect, to be quite honest, because I have quite a bit of Aquarius in my chart. So this also was just a channeling session for me too, being like, oh my God, like what's going to happen in 28 days? Because February's a short one. You know what I'm saying? Okay. I'll talk to you guys later. Bye.